Hi, it's me again with Corel Draw Tips and Tricks, and this is only a suggestion. Somebody asked for some help in suggesting other things. He needs to use 1/4-inch wood to make this. This is hold beer bottles or small wine bottles, I guess, and you take one out every day before Christmas. Well, 1/4-inch plywood is really hard to cut with a lot of people do it, but I found I got too much char, and my laser will cut 1/8 inch out like butter. So I've already made 2 copies. I've taken away the numbers on one, so you just have to cut one. So, but we need to glue these two together perfectly. And the way I glue stuff together would be to make dowel holes, indexing dowels, and glue them together, but then you're gonna see them. So we take this, and this has a 1/4-inch hole in it. I made 2 of them. And put them up. They don't even have to be symmetrical. They don't have to be even. They don't have to be perfect. And you could make them even by holding down the shift and then hit L for, or hit B for bottom. And now they're symmetrical. They might not be symmetrical left or right. But before you do anything else is grab them, Control D, and make a duplicate and nudge them over the same 15 inches I nudged this over. Now we're going to take our smart field or our virtual segment delete key and delete these lines so the laser won't cut it. And let's zoom in here. And then you're going to sandwich these together with this dowel. And you're going to put dowels in these 1/4-inch holes that you've tested on a scrap piece of wood to make sure they're really tight. And if they're really tight, you shouldn't have to do anything else. But this is a pretty tall item. I think it's it's 22 inches tall, almost, well, 23 inches tall now. You could take a 1/4-inch piece of wood and stick in this slot while you're gluing it. Smear glue around everywhere. The one thing good about plywood is pretty tough and pretty resilient. And then I lay it on a flat surface and put a bunch of weights on it. And after you put the two together and weight it down, before it's dry, take that test piece out. Then, if we will group this together, Control G, let's get that out of the way. And we'll group this one together, or we could have welded it, or we could have done a lot with it. And then just hit P. I must have nudged it over a little bit somehow. So just nudge it back, and those 2 pieces are identical. They're gonna glue right on top of each other. So my suggestion, I've done this a lot, even with stuff with holes in it. Let it set for about 3 or 4 or 5 minutes at the most. Get a damp cloth, wipe off the edges, any excess. Take your finger and put the cloth and wipe out the inside. Plywood is really resistant once it dries. And then put it back under the weights to let it lay flat. But that's how I would do it. Now it's going to take a longer time of cutout, but since it's cutting 1/8 inch wood, it should cut twice as fast as your 1/4-inch wood. It's going to have less burn residue. It's going to give you a nice tan tint. And if you see one that's, got some charcoal, you need to rerun it. But that's, if you want to watch a video called Cutting Plywood, I've got a video on that. This is how I would do it. And then when you're through and it's dry, take a little bitty fine saw and cut those off and sand them. It's on the bottom, you can't see it. I would do it up here, but you'd be able to see it. And then once you start sanding off the burn residue, you'd have to sand it all off. Now, this is only a suggestion, but it is an option. Hope that helped a little bit. Thank you for watching.